Today, I want to talk to you about a common confusion. The confusion about the difference between being calm and being quiet. There is a lot of misconceptions surrounding those two states. So, in this talk, we will delve into what they each stand for, why it is important to understand the difference between them, and most importantly, how this clarity and awareness can help you in your life. Stay tuned to learn more. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Growth Philosophy Podcast, a bite-sized weekly podcast focused on empowering you to think better and improve your life. So let's talk about calm and quiet. Calm and quiet. These two words always seem to go hand in hand, and most people use these two words synonymously. Most think that being calm and being quiet are one and the same thing. However, that's a common misconception. The belief that these two are synonymous isn't actually accurate, because there is a big difference between staying calm and staying quiet. Here is the thing about being quiet. Most people stay quiet if they don't know what to say. It generally is a result of not knowing what to do. But staying calm is a different story altogether. It requires strength, and when you're calm, you know what you're doing. One generally happens when you don't know what to do, whereas the other is a result of knowing what to do. Being quiet is more of a reaction, passive act, or byproduct of the situation in that sense, whereas being calm is an active choice. Most people make the mistake of thinking that staying quiet is the same as staying calm or vice versa, but that's not the reality. Quiet and calm are similar. There's no doubt about that, but they are not the same. And we will unpack and clarify their differences as we go deeper into the topic. All that said, some of you might be thinking by now that this is merely a technicality and it doesn't really have any significance in real life or in your life for that matter. But that's actually not the case at all. Because understanding the difference between calm and quiet can and will have an impact on your life, and even the lives of others, especially the people that matter to you. So why is it important? You might be wondering. Well, here is why. The distinction between calm and quiet is important to understand because this awareness can help you to empower yourself and help you to choose calm when you need to. This can also help you to understand when you or someone else is being quiet rather than staying calm, which in turn can help you communicate and connect better since you can help others more. For example, by stepping in if someone seems to be struggling to find the words. This awareness can also help you empower others and even stand up for those who struggle to stand up for themselves. I believe that protecting those who can't or who struggle to stand up for themselves is a basic human duty for each and every one of us, whenever and wherever we can. Going back to calm and quiet though, more often than not, the distinction becomes one of power or inner strength. Being quiet generally is an emotional state where the person doesn't have much power, whereas being calm is an active choice, and as such is a state of strength. In that sense, calm embodies strength. The confusion, though, mostly comes from the fact that both emotional states usually look the same. Being calm more often than not takes the form of being quiet, so it can be a subtle distinction. That said, you will know when you're being calm, rather than when you're being quiet. It's not really for outsiders to judge, it's more for you. So being calm, as I mentioned earlier, is a conscious and active choice, whereas being quiet is often what happens when you feel like there is no choice. Before we go any further, I want to clarify something so that there is no misunderstanding. Being quiet is not a bad thing. You must have noticed that I specified most of the time, or usually, when I said that quiet is the result of lack of power or choice. That's the case a lot of the time, but not always. There are times when not saying anything is the best course of action, like when you're very angry and might end up saying something that you might regret later. You can be quiet when you're calm, after all, and you can actively choose to stay calm. Not because you don't have any other option, but because you have decided that that is the best choice in the scenario. I know it can be confusing, so here is my distinction of calm versus quiet to help clarify these two states more. Calm is a mental or emotional state you consciously and actively choose, whereas quiet is a situation where you don't feel like you can do anything. One is about being actively empowered, while the other is about being passive. Being quiet is fine, but not if it is a passive choice and makes you feel helpless or worse. Here is another big distinction between being calm and quiet. When you choose calm, you can speak up and even act. Being calm is not always about staying quiet. Ultimately, being calm is about actively choosing your actions. This also means that you can choose to stay quiet, especially if that's the best option in a situation. Being calm is not exclusively about being quiet, unlike being quiet. Being quiet, when it is a passive choice, means there is absolutely nothing else you do but stay quiet. So staying quiet is exclusively about not saying anything, while still staying calm can involve you saying or doing something, including choosing to stay quiet. So one involves being only quiet, whereas the other can involve you do something. If you're choosing to stay quiet because that's the best course of action, great. That's your own choice, so you're coming from a place of strength. But if you're quiet because you feel like you have no other option or can't express yourself, that can cause problems for you and even for others. That's ultimately a negative and even harmful state of mind, which causes you stress, anxiety, unhappiness, and a whole host of other issues. This is one of the reasons why bottling up your emotions can do more harm than good, but more on that another day. As for calm and quiet, here's the bottom line. It is better for you to make a conscious choice to stay calm and even quiet, rather than staying quiet because you feel like you have no other option. You need to exercise your willpower and inner strength and actively choose. The passive option isn't good for you, since being quiet just because you feel like you can do nothing, but stay quiet, makes you feel helpless and weak. That's why it's not good for you. That said, this doesn't mean that you should say something that can make matters worse or put you in danger. Absolutely not. What it does mean is that you should be making a conscious choice. A conscious choice about the best course of action for you in any given situation. And if the best choice happens to be staying quiet, then so be it. Calm ultimately is an active choice that you consciously make, while quiet usually is a passive state that you feel like you're stuck with. Even though they usually look and feel the same, calm and quiet are actually not the same things. And hopefully by understanding this difference, you can make better and stronger choices in your own life. Quiet can be a source of strength or a source of weakness. It can be either. It all depends on how you're choosing it and why. At the end of the day, calm is about making active choices, whereas quiet generally is about a lack of choice. One is about empowerment, while the other can be very disempowering. One can help you deal with things, while the other can actually hold you back, make you feel bad, and even create problems for you and others down the line. It is far better to actively choose calm than it is to feel helpless and stay quiet. If you're actively choosing to stay quiet because you've decided that that is the best course of action at the time, that's fine. But if you're quiet because you feel helpless or feel lost for words or even stuck, then you need to review those situations to understand how you can deal with things better in the future. It will not happen overnight, and you won't completely change how you deal with things. But the more aware of the differences between these two mental states you become, the more empowered you will be. The more about these two states you understand, the better you will be able to deal with challenging, unwanted, and even unpleasant situations. We have gone over a fair bit, so here is a quick reminder about how being clear about the differences between calm and quiet can benefit you, and why you need to have this understanding. This awareness can help you to empower yourself and help you to choose calm when you need to, as opposed to being quiet. Understanding the difference between calm and quiet can help you to understand when someone else is being quiet rather than staying calm, which in turn can help you to communicate and connect better. This understanding in that sense can help you to develop your emotional intelligence. Having this clarity can help you empower and even help the people that matter to you. For example, by stepping in if someone seems to be struggling to find their words. There are lots of benefits of having this clarity, but here is the most important one. Developing your awareness about these two similar yet different mental states and how you experience them in your own life will help you to get better at making better choices for yourself. That reason alone is enough to have this clarity, won't you say? An unavoidable truth about life is that life is full of choices. At every moment and every juncture, we have choices to make. You're always making choices, even when you think you're not, because in any given scenario, you either make an active choice or a passive one. In case of the passive choice, the choice gets made for you. Even by not choosing, you make a choice. This passive route is what most people take, unfortunately, and is what happens when you bury your head in the sand or try to ignore or run away from an issue. I have a feeling you have a fair deal of life experience and have experienced dealing with challenging situations, so you know by now that being passive and doing things like ignoring an issue rarely ever, if ever, helps. Making active choices in life isn't usually easy, but it is pretty much always the smarter and better option. It's important to make active choices in life, like choosing to stay calm and even quiet when it's the best course of action for you. Actively choosing calm will not only lead to better results, it will also make you stronger, happier, and even better able to deal with life's challenges and adversities. Reject quiet. Choose calm instead.